I think Holy Thursday, Innocence, is a truly remarkable poem because what it's starting to do, as some of the more sophisticated of the Innocence poems and experience poems do, is show innocence and experience existing at the same time. We know that Blake is a real critic of the controlling power of the church and its hypocrisies and its false appeal to morality and charity, and while simultaneously his celebration of God, nature, love, forgiveness, pity, joy, the values of Christianity mean so much to him, whereas the institutions are so false and broken. In the Innocence poems, the critique is muted, but perhaps present. But what he's able to do, particularly in this poem, in The Chimney Sweeper, is give us the innocence, and it's on rereading where we start to see the counter reading as well. Now this is complex, so let's try and take a look. 'Twas on a Holy Thursday. I mean, if you need to know the historical context, Holy Thursday was a day where the churchmen took the orphans and of London town and cleaned them up, fed them, took them to a church service. It was a kind of holiday to celebrate. So there's a positive energy there, of course. Let's see how Blake treats this. Their innocent faces clean. So their children walking two and two in red and blue and green, gray-headed beetles with wands as white as snow, till into the high dome of Paul's they like Thames water flow. So it's wonderful. These little kids are being guided into St. Paul's. But at the same time, what we notice is the colors of the children contrast with the gray and white of the beetles. They are shepherds, perhaps, and lambs. But there's something a little bit worrisome about wands. They seem a bit more menacing, magic, but in a negative way. And these lambs are flowing like the Thames into Paul's. That simile is strange to me. I wonder if simultaneously there's the imagery of lambs shepherded, which we've already seen in the Innocents is a positive, or lambs led to slaughter. And I think that that's what makes this poem magnificent, is that already I get that creepy double sense. Oh, what a multitude they seemed, these flowers of London town. Again, natural, these multicolored kids are flowers. Seated in companies, they sit with radiance all their own. The rhymes are, again, off. They're a little bit, they're pushing me around and making me think a little bit more carefully. Seated in companies should worry us because that's a little bit regimented. And we know that Blake doesn't like that. But nonetheless, they glow. They glow with a power that's from themselves, not from anyone else. The hum of multitudes was there, but multitudes of lambs, thousands of little boys and girls raising their innocent hands. That imagery is so simple and it's hard to use without using the word innocent. Childish and peaceful, but there's something worrisome too. What are they all looking up to? Are they to be slaughtered? I don't know. Now, like a mighty wind, they raise to heaven the voice of song. Now that's a powerful sound, powerful line. Or, like harmonious thundering, the seats of heaven among. Why the or? Why he's having trouble trying to describe what's going on. So they're a mighty wind, a harmonious thundering, and below them, beneath them, sit the aged men, wise guardians of the poor. And that line strikes me as sarcastic, but it could be straight as well. I don't know, because they are guardians, they are helping, but their wisdom seems, for me, in what I know of Blake, questionable. Then cherish pity, value charity and pity, lest you drive an angel from your door. Because if you don't care for the poor, it's the equivalent of sending an angel away. But I think the more worrisome idea is why do we need pity and guardians? Why do we even have this poverty here? These beautiful flowers that only have their faces cleaned on this one day, with their wands as white as snow. Why today do they control and lead? And only on this day of Holy Thursday do we get this sense of guarding and saving them. Isn't there something more menacing here? The doubleness here is what's of interest to me. That principally it is an innocence poem that gives us a wonderful image of elderly gray men taking care of children. But beneath the surface, the language and some of the rhyme makes me worry or disturbs me into an alternative reading that goes against this. There shouldn't be charity, there shouldn't be pity. And the very idea of charity being welcoming the angel in is something that I'm uncomfortable with. And that keeps this poem churning and changing and flowing for me. Holy Thursday Experience is far more explicit in its caustic, direct, critical tone. I'll just put experience so you know. The structure is these shorter lines contribute to the direct critique. Is this a holy thing to see? In a rich and fruitful land, babes reduced to misery, fed with cold, usurious hand. The church and industry are earning and calling themselves holy by feeding children, but these children are poor in a rich country. So there's a kind of sense of disgust in the contrasting language here. Is that a and the question and the rhetorical questions are forceful and demanding. Is that trembling cry a song? This noise the kids are making, do you call that a song? Can it be a song of joy in so many children poor? It is a land of poverty. So songs and crying, I think Flamineo says something similar in White Devil, that we think birds are actually singing in the cage, but they're crying. Here, Holy Thursday shows us that the songs we heard in the Innocents is actually, if we change our hearing, is weeping because of poverty. And the speaker is disgusted and angry, as they are in London. And their sun does never shine. And their fields are bleak and bare. This is just rough, brute fact. And their ways are filled with thorns. That's biblical. Makes me think of Jesus and his suffering. And it all the more shows the hypocrisy. But we get no shine. We get only that bleak and bare. That wonderful alliteration emphasizes the emptiness. It's eternal winter there. Where is there? Where is there? Is poverty a place? Maybe. Because wherever the sun shines and rain falls, which should be everywhere, babe can never hunger, nor poverty the mind appall. We should be disgusted. We should feed everyone. We should not engage in pity and charity. There is something wrong that the cold and usurious hands call themselves holy. This is a punch. This is just a fierce, angry critique. And when you read them next to each other, Holy Thursday Experience is just a damning indictment of the culture, of hypocrisy of the church, of industry, of wealth and poverty in England. And this poem is fierce and unforgiving. And again, you start to see, when read against the Innocents poem, in the Innocents already we start to see where Blake is getting that anger and how he's creating it. The biblical resonance, the use of negatives, almost contradictory language in the last stanza. It's really difficult to unpick, but the tone helps with that interpretation. It's forceful, it's demanding, it's disgusted, and this is a poem that helps the political readers like what's his name, Eckhart, Poet Against Empire, I think, really see the politics of Blake. That he's not only a poet of the soul and the imagination, but he's very much a material, angry, political poet as well.